Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you all had a good week. Thanks for coming checking me out today. Today we're going to be doing some more work in our hackmud banknet. Good morning, Free Frag. Good morning, Flux. How are you both doing? How was your week? Where we left off was potentially with a stupid typo. We left off with a bot brain on our main bank user, which is unloaded because we left it unloaded. Doing good. You're playing a lot of Aska this weekend. Aska. What's Aska? Is that short for something? Or is that, did I just like, D's nuts myself or something? So we have a bot brain script over here that wasn't doing the one line of code that it's supposed to be running. Or potentially it is the main script that's not working. Flux, you're doing okay, also working on hackmud stuff? Nice, good. Glad to hear you're okay. Everyone's doing some hackmud today. All right, so I think what we should do down here is I'm gonna call this from my library user. I'm gonna give my library user some GC so that it shows up in this list. And then I'm going to go and get the record out of the database. And then I'm going to return it so I can see what's actually being persisted in here. Because I have a feeling well, the persistence should be working because I've upserted all over the place. So it's on Steam. It's a Village Viking simulator. Sim is probably wrong. Management survival. Okay. So is it like a Valheim kind of game, but you manage more than just like the one character? Oh, actually, you know what? That is starting to sound somewhat familiar. Aska. That's, yeah, kinda. I'm just gonna go and put that up on my, so put this in Steam and just minimize it. There. So I'm gonna look at that afterwards. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that sounds familiar to me. Alright, so I should be able to call this script balance, and what I should see is I should see Xylib show up in here, my library user, with the status of up because it checked in, and a timestamp. I also upped this to 1 hour because Flux, you were saying it wasn't 30 minutes, it was 1 hour, so I did that too. All right, so and then we can see what's going on here. Oh, hold on. I have to start up the script environment and resave. There we are. Okay. Up bank. And then I should be able to call bank with action. Bank bot? No, that's not what I called it. I called it bot check-in. Bot check-in. Oh, I forgot to give myself a balance, but that is kind of what I wanted to see. So, not entirely sure why that didn't work from my other user. It's low sec. I bet that's a problem. Because over here in my bot brain script, I have it set as mid sec. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the problem. Let's go check. up bot brain, and then bot brain. No, that still didn't do anything. That's interesting. So I called literally the exact same script from my library user. Oh, right. Oh, that's weird. It did add my bank user. BotBrain scripts can't return anything? Oh, no, I'm not returning anything from my BotBrain script. I'm just calling it. My subscript also has to return this. So I guess I could have it return that, just to make sure that it's updating. A bot brain here. The timestamp update, it did. Okay. So, now what do I do? So, okay, so the check-in is working. I guess I don't want to return that at all. I can just return okay, true here. I don't think I need any of these, not right now anyway. 63 characters. That's tiny. I mean, that's good because then I don't have to load any character upgrades. But I have a feeling I'm going to want to do a couple other things here. Alright, let's go back to the brain and back to, sorry, the bank script and back to my lib user. Jeez. Alright, and let's think about what the next step is. So, this does appear to be working correctly. I don't think I need that part, because BankNet should just get updated after it saves, so I can just spit it out. I probably don't need that one either. Let's just make sure that's still working. Yep, that updated as well. Now I should be able to do balance. Alright. So that's the balance across my, well, I guess that's not a good test because if I do ATM and I withdraw like 1 million GC to Xylib, Xylib should check in here and my total balance should remain the same. Oh, that's because my bank didn't check in. Right. So, Zybank, I have to go back to Zybank and call BotBrain again. And then back to, is the balance down 1 million? It is there. Flux, you upgraded your net a little bit. So now when each bot checks in, they send the exact cooldown stat from their equipped bot brain as part of the punch card, and you use that to check if they're offline instead of doing 1 hour for all of them. Oh, nice. That's smart. Wow, that is smart. You don't do a flat hour. You're like, you should check in every X seconds because your equipped bot brain module has X seconds. Do you give them like an extra 5 seconds or like 10 seconds or something just to account for any lag or delay? That's actually a genius idea, Flux. That's great. A few seconds of leeway. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that if you don't mind. That sounds awesome. Okay, so now if I do balance, I should get 684. Okay, good. So the balance calculation is working across multiple users as well. Should be able to just deposit that back. Okay. So, yeah. So let's modify the bot brain to do that right now. So bot brain is going to do. So let's do it from here. Sys upgrades, where name is, I think we can do name and then regex, cronbot. Didn't quite work. Is it filter? Not quite right. Type bot brain. Oh, type bot brain. Yeah, because you can only have one equipped, right? So, wait, what was the filter syntax on this again? So it is filter. So I do filter, loaded true, and then type bot brain. Right, because it's not loaded. I'd have to load it. Alright, if I go loaded false though, it should show up. Okay. So, so I'll do loaded true when I actually call it. How do you do the shoot? Don't tell me, don't tell me. I have a macro for it anyway. Info, which is sys upgrades. Oh, it is full true, but it takes an index. That's a pain. So, really? Oh no. It's because I did it like that. No. You put true inside the filter? I thought that's where I had it. Well, it doesn't work either way. I think you need to use the index. Wait, what? Oh, I switched users. Whoops. Inside the filter. No. Outside the filter. Yes, so it's outside the filter. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the cooldown here. So, okay. And that's in seconds. So I can basically do this. I'm just gonna copy that. I think sys upgrades. I still have to kind of figure out how to, well, not figure out, but I have to get more familiar with the security levels of the basic scripts because I'm not, I haven't done a whole lot of work to memorize any of that. Alright, so that, and I should be able to do, so that will return just one object. I should just be able to go, is this an array of objects that it returns? Well, I guess I can check, right? So let cronbot equal that, and if I just do return json.stringify, ugh, sleepy fingers this morning. It's an array? Okay. Well, we'll know in a sec for sure anyway. Yep, you're right, Flux. It is an array. So I will do 0. I guess I don't have to worry about the loaded or unloaded because this will allow me to test it manually. And if it's running automatically, obviously it's loaded. Oh, but what if I have more than one? Okay. I'm just going to do this so I don't forget. I want filter loaded true bot brain. Okay. So I have a cron bot, and then I will pass that, I guess, as part of the bot check-in. I will pass cooldown as well. If a.action equals bot check-in. If you had more than one, it would grab the first one on the list. Well, it would grab the first one on the list if I do this, for sure, if I index it with 0. So it could cause an issue, but it depends on my inventory management. So yeah, I'm already in the habit of keeping all my loaded upgrades at the top. I think most people do that. So yeah, it's probably not necessary. You know what, I'm just gonna leave that. That's alright, and that lets me just test it quickly. Okay, so that's the wrong banking script. So this also needs to accept a. This one also needs to accept a cooldown. Cooldown. Let's call it bot cooldown. No. Unnecessary. Bot check-in is already the context. So, trying to think here. A.cooldown. I should have some basic protection here just for misuse. So if A.cooldown is null, then I want to return. Do I have a return false macro here? I don't. Okay, false. Oh, I got something in my eye. Or maybe it's just allergies. Return okay, false. And then, parameter cooldown is mandatory. Oh, that's needs to be message. All right. And then here I should just be able to do A.cooldown times 1,000. Times 1,000 plus. How much time do I want to give it? 10. Let's give it 10 seconds. So if now minus the timestamp is greater than cooldown in milliseconds plus 10 seconds plus 10 milliseconds, that's 10 milliseconds plus 10 seconds. Oh, I could do A.cooldown plus 10 times 1,000 instead. There. Okay. That's a very good idea, Flux. That's very smart. Alright. So that will have them all checking in. That just checks in. So my central bank now has an object that contains a list of all the users on my banknet and their balances, whether or not they're up or down. So I could what could I do here? How do you know if any of them are down? If any of them are down, I could have that. So update, so this should really be check if any of the bots are offline. I don't want to do this check if it's already offline. That's irrelevant, because what I want to do is the first time a bot is detected as going offline, I'm going to send a message to my primary user that says these bots are offline. These banknet bots have gone offline. So that the next time I log in on my primary user, I have a tell from my from any basically the first bot that detects that one of its siblings have gone down. It will send a message being like, hey, these bots have gone offline. I've marked these bots as offline. And then I can go and figure out what the problem is. So if the status is not already equal to down, then I'll do this. I'll mark it as down. I'm going to let an array of offline bots I'll mark it as down, and offline bots dot push, not pish, but push, the other bot name will go in here. Then after it updates, I can have it do full sec. So I can have it do chats.tell to my primary user message. The following banknet bots are offline. And then, whoops, did something funny there. This needs to be an interpolated string. Actually, what I'm going to do here, the following banknet bots are offline. I'm going to color offline because everyone likes colors. You can send colors in tells, right? I think so. I will use red, which is D. And then I will do JSON. I don't think I need to stringify it, actually. I should just be able to put offline bots. You can? Yeah, okay. So notify primary user of any offline bots. And this would be in an if offline bots.length is greater than 0. Okay. Okay. Hold on. A.cooldown is not the right thing here. This needs to be in here. Timestamp now, cooldown, A.cooldown. And then this will be banknet other bot name .cooldown. That's what it'll be. Okay. This is all whitelisted too, I think, right? Yeah. This punishment needs to be different. Oh, I'll have to update that. To do update whitelist punishment to use banknet, because I have that everywhere. Right. So the balance works. The bot check-in should work. Recording the cooldown. I want to have an ability to reset it. Because I want to like do that now, and I'm going to do this probably pretty often during my testing. So if a.reset is true, it's just going to go and remove this record. All right. Trying to think. So it'll reset it. If it's reset, if the cooldown is null, it'll say it's mandatory. It'll come through here. It will keep track of any bots that have now gone offline. They weren't offline and they are now. It'll add itself with its cooldown and a status of up. My balance needs to only do if banknet of other bot name. This should just say bot name, because that won't be, this won't be called from a bot. This will be called from a real user, or presumably, or a script or whatever. If banknet at bot name dot status is equal to up, because we don't want to count the bots the balances if they've gone offline, because they could potentially be breached. They could have potentially been breached, and we should consider that balance missing until we go and figure out why the cron bot's offline. For each bot name in the banknet object, get its stat. If its status is up, add its balance to the total, and then report the total. All right, that's probably pretty good. Again, it's going to be hard to test this. So, what user am I on here? Zybank. So let's go back to my library user. I wish you didn't have to sys.specs to get the username to change in the top right. All right. So bank dot balance should work still. Yep. Bot check-in. Success, that's fine. Oh, I should have like a bot check-in list. Should bot check-in return the results of all the bots? Why not? Right now it doesn't return anything. Wait, hold on a minute. I'm on my library user. I just did bot check-in. Shit. I just deleted all my bots. That counts as a stupid typo. Frig. Okay. That's better. So if I say my cooldown is 1 second, for example, it should expire right away. Okay, so it's up. If I go back to my bank user, let's have the bot brain actually return this instead. It will be required to pass its cooldown now. cronbot.cooldown. Is that what we ended up yeah, okay. So up bot brain. And call bot brain. Okay, so Xylib got detected as going down. Zybank added its balance. If I switch to my main user, I should get a tell. I did. It shows up in my chats window though. Chats. I wish I could get tells in my main screen. I could send one GC to my main user and then it would show up with a memo saying the following banknet bots are offline. How long of a memo can you have? If I go back, if I do X for GC2, I do to my main user, and I do the following banknet bots are D offline. I don't even know if that'll work. And I do Xy 1, Xy 3, Xy 9. Oh, I have an amount. I need an amount. 1. Memo 50/1. What does that mean? Is there a character limit of 50? Optional memo, 50/1, 50 characters. Oh, hey, Smork. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. I suppose I could have it also send one GC, and it just says, banknet bots offline. So then I get like a pling from one of my bots that will say banknet bots offline. Then it'll draw my attention to my chats window where I will have a tell saying which bots actually went offline. I think that's a good compromise. Okay, so back to the bank script. So when we send this, yeah, we'll do chats.tell, and then we'll do midsec, highsec. Midsec. Midsec.x for GC2. Actually, we'll just pretty much just copy this right here. Copy. All right. How you doing, Smart? You good? How was your week? Did you have a good week? Also doing hackmud stuff, or what are you up to? All right. I didn't like something about what I did here. Line 81. That's this line. Chats.tell. Oh, accounts.x for GC2. That's why. There we go. Okay, so that's the notification. Notify primary user of any offline bots. Can you put color in a memo? Let's find out. Oh, I guess we can just do it in reverse. Ooh, you can. Ooh, I like that. Okay, cool. I don't know, maybe I can make the whole thing red? That's fine. That's fine. I will make office. I will make that uppercase as well, just for consistency. Draw attention to it. The following banknet bots are offline, and then a list of the bots. Then I'll transfer one GC as like a tell tax, essentially. Okay. What else has got to be done here? So that should be the check-in. If I go back, here, and we'll up my bank script, and then go back to my bank user, and do bot check-in again. Bot check-in, and I just say cooldown is whatever, 600 seconds. We'll just say 10 minutes. Hey, Demo. How's it going, friend? How you doing? Oh, I haven't had a chance to look at the changes that you've done to the libs yet. I'm working on my on some cronbot stuff, so but we will get there for sure, because I'm going to want to pretty up my bank script as well. You're pretty good. Also drinking some coffee and waking up? Yeah, good. Glad you're doing well. Thanks for coming by. Out of game stuff's looking good. Thank you. It's getting pretty yeah, it's getting pretty up there. I've actually kind of moved. That's why I moved into the bank net for my get some GC distribution, is because I'm getting probably to the point where if I let my automation run for like the day, I'll fill up my only bank users. So I gotta start spreading this GC around. So that's what we're working on here. I don't think this is gonna be a very big project, so we're doing pretty good so far. Management scripts are next. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, yeah, it's all gonna be stuff to manage the output from my automation. So also, I'm gonna want to use botnets for other things too, so just kind of figuring out how they work and how to get them kind of have a bot management user, and for distributing all the loot. Yeah, that too, and selling things on the market and stuff like that. Flux, the way you get bot balances to reach an equilibrium. When each bot brain runs, it calculates a minimum balance, which is the total online over the total bots, and only if they're above, they send 1% to every other bot until they all reach the minimum. It scales with your total GC in response to bots going offline. So that's like they're slowly balancing out, right? Every time the cron runs, they're like just slowly distributing amongst themselves. Demo, I'm going down a similar path that you did with your botnet. Nice. I've based some of it off of what Flux has been talking about doing with their botnet as well. So this is a team effort. And I'm going to want to use this to distribute my keys as well, because my library user is going to run out of key storage pretty soon too. So, okay. Flux heart. Okay. So yeah, so Flux, I'm gonna have to do that as well in here. I should put a note that like I have to attempt to equalize GC, I guess, and that will happen after I get a return from the bank, because then I'll have a list of all the other bots. And be able to, the bot itself will be able to calculate this whole balance as well. All right. I think that's all I need for checking in, notifying when bots go offline. The balance only counts online bots. Right. Right, I wanted to finish doing this. So Xylib is down. It had no balance anyway. Zybank is up for 10 minutes with that balance. Okay. I'm not going to worry about balance equalization. Maybe I should worry about balance equalization. I have 2 bank users, right? So I think what I should do is I should move this bot brain Oh, I wish Jorstar was here. Um, does anyone here in chat know because about like how HSE works? Because I know if I move the botbrain script up to the parent folder, it will automatically push a copy into all of my users when I save it. But I want to differentiate this bot brain versus other bot brains I might have. I don't want, like, I would like to call it like bank bot brain, for example, and have it renamed to, I don't know if what I'm trying to do is, I can't fully explain what I'm trying to do or what I want to do. I think I'm just gonna wait for now till I have it working. I don't want like the bank bot brain getting pushed into, like if I had another bot user, but the bot was doing something different, I wouldn't want the brain being pushed into it, I guess. Flux, you do everything in Notepad++? Note++ programmers, so weird. It's so weird to me. I'm so used to using an IDE. Demo, you have three quick things. You may have already considered them. 1, am I running 2 Steam accounts? A bot account and a main account, so you can bot while you play? Not at the moment, no. Because I would need to be running the other stuff on another machine, and I have another machine, but it's not set up for any of this. So that's like a long-term plan. So right now, my out-of-game automation will take place when I am not playing the game. 2, am I running my botnet on a dedicated laptop? So the botnet that I'm running right now is just for banking, as it is currently. It's just based off of cronbots, so the idea is that it's hands-off. I don't need to be online. If my understanding of how cronbots work is they run even when you're logged out of the game. I don't know if that's true or not. Is that true? The third thing, for HSM, you have a dedicated folder for each user that has dedicated scripts. Yeah, so that's what I have right now, but I know Jorstar was saying that you can have, if you put the script in the root of your HSE, then when you save it, it pushes copies to all your users. So my understanding of cronbots is accurate. They only run when not logged in on that user. Okay, perfect. So that's good. Yeah, so my bank net is going to be just all cronbots. When it comes to like automation, so when I am rotating through users to do automated cracking and all that stuff, that's going to be through my out-of-process automation. That's going to be through my out-of-process automation, which I am currently going to be running just on my desktop. If you're on the user, it will defer it. If you run your script manually, it will unload it. If you're AFK for the full cooldown, the bot will run. So you can be logged in, just don't run any commands. I mean, it makes sense to just not touch them. Like when I had a single user bank, I mean, I still have a single user bank right now, but when I had the ATM script, I never logged into it anymore. There was no reason for me to do it. I only ever interacted with it through its script. So I guess the question is, if I have a cron bot running on a user and a public script on that user, can I run the public script without interfering with the cron bot? It unloads your cron bot if you run your bot brain. If this happens, you'll know why. Yeah, and I think we saw that. I think we saw that on the last stream demo, which was okay because my bot brain script wasn't working correctly anyway. Okay, so I need to be able to equalize my GC So how am I going to equalize my GC here? I have a second bank user. Right, that's what I wanted to do here. I've got to get my bot brain script working correctly first. Actually, I should go and get user. I just have a public script slot. Why is that? Right, the bank branch script, and I've decided not to go down that path. So this is going to get deleted. Call 0. And I'll have to get a bot brain for it. Flux public scripts from other users shouldn't delay. Demo, yes, you can run public, so your bot brain runs at 15 minutes and you check it 3 minutes and log out on minute 4, you're good. You can also make your bot brain script public, and if you run it from another user, it won't unload it. For distributed withdrawals. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, Flux, because I needed to figure out, how do I go and extract that GC from my bank net, and I was going to have a public script on each user. So knowing that I can make the bot brain script public, that's good. Demo, if my cron ticks while I'm on the user, it will defer. If someone else calls a public script from a cron user, there's no problem. What Flux said has a very important asterisk. If you make a cron bot public, make sure you have whitelisting so only your users can call it. Yes, that is a good suggestion. I'm already in the habit of doing that demo, so I should be good. I don't have it right now though because it's not public, but it will have to be probably when I get to that point. So let's put a note here so I don't forget. Add whitelist check before making public. You figured you just had to say it? Yeah, no, I mean that's a good point. I could have missed it because I'm thinking about totally different stuff, so that would have been bad. That would have been bad for me. Alright, so I need to equalize GC. So I have let banknet equal this because the bot check-in call now returns the database record as output. Does it return it as a JSON stringify? It does. So let's just return it as the object. I think that will work. Okay, so then we'll equalize the GC. So the balance, we can recalculate the balance, right? Doing this. I guess I just need this part. So I'll have the total GC as a number. I will also have, I should do total and count. So that will give me the number of active bots and the total balance across all of them. Then the equalized balance should equal the total divided by the count. I can do that, right, to round it. I don't want to try and send fractional GC. That won't be good. So the equalized balance is that. And then if my bot has more than that in its balance, so I can put these back. So if the equalized balance is greater than B, which is my balance, then that means that I need to send the difference divided by the number of bots to each bot. Is that right? Is the math on that right? Hi, kitty. I think that's right. So my balance, let's just name these, because Jorstar would also be mad that I'm still using minimized names here. So balance. Shame. I know. It's an old habit from... It's because I started without using HSM or anything like that. It's a bad habit. Okay, so then we do balance. No, equalized balance minus balance. Sorry, if the equalized balance is less than my balance, that means this bot has more than it should. Then we do balance minus equalized balance. Balance to send is this. Divided by the count of bots demo. You have a horrible habit of using lower snake case and lower camel for JavaScript everywhere else, so every now and then you'll find an obvious offender. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because hackmud, yeah, it uses lower snake case, but yeah, I'm using camel case. At least I don't care, because I use camel case. My problem, well, look at this though. I think my problem would be if I ever used lower snake case at work, I'll get pinged by the linter. So inconsistency makes me crazier with your code, not mine. Yeah, I mean, it's funny though. Like, I only did that because it's actually called cron underscore bot, so I'm using that as its proper name. But yeah, if my inconsistency, I have like a level of tolerance for inconsistency. A little bit is okay, but if it gets like really bad, I start like reading my code backwards and just like refactoring on the spot, which can be kind of a pain and a waste of time, because it's just, especially I'm using a minifier, they'll all just vanish. All of these variables just get shrunk down to one letter anyways. But FE is lower camel. So you have your JavaScript front end and back end is Python. So your front end is lower camel, your back end is snake case. You drive yourself nuts anyway. Ugh. I don't, why would you use different naming conventions for different languages? Yeah, for work stuff, yeah. But why would you do it? Why would you use different conventions for different languages for the same project? Shouldn't your variable naming be consistent? Or has it just ended up like that? And you don't have any control now, it's too late. It's far too late. We've gone too far. Point of no return. Okay, so the balance to send per bot divided by count of bots what do I do here? Yeah, it drives you crazy. You came into the project 2 years ago. The ship has sailed. Yeah. Oh, I had that with, they call it Hungarian notation, where for like private member variables, you do m underscore and then the variable name, which is like C or C++, like object-oriented C or object-oriented C++, kind of old thing that nobody uses anymore, Hungarian notation. Yeah, an old project I worked on with another team, private members, yeah, private member variables. And they worked in Pascal. Oh, the Pascal was unreadable to me because it had so many weirdisms in the way that it was written that only the person that wrote it could read it. It was brutal. A brutal legacy product. It was a nightmare. I remember one time they were on vacation. There was like one person on the team who worked on it. So they were allowed to just do whatever they wanted because nobody reviewed the code. It was this legacy thing. Nobody else ever touched it. It was 100% one developer's work. And I remember they were on vacation for 2 weeks and they had some critical problem with it. So they were like, hey, Xylox, can you go and figure this out and see if you can fix this bug because it's kind of critical. And this guy doesn't come back for like a week and a half. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll take a look. Indecipherable. Totally unreadable. Unreadable. I'm just like, I can't read this. Sorry. I like spent like 3 hours just sitting there. I couldn't even find the part in the code that was responsible for the area that had the bug in it. I'm like, I can't read any of this, can't read it. It's a shitty situation. Solo champion on a repo is on vacation and this shit's roadblocked. Yeah. Thankfully I was the project lead on one of the other products. So I had enough leverage that when I went back to the manager and was like, I can't, this is undoable. You're in an unwinnable situation here, that they just trusted me. Because if I was like less senior, I think I would have ended up getting the answer of make it happen. I hate that when you have like a super impossible situation and someone just goes, just make it happen, I don't care. It's nice when someone goes, trusts your opinion on something. You're always up for a good technical challenge. Yeah, but ambiguity and finding a needle in a stack of needles, yeah, it is not. That's not really a technical challenge, right? It's a language I don't know, because, Pascal C is not quite C. It is terribly maintained and totally undocumented. So it's like, look, yeah, I could do this, but it'll take me probably 2 weeks. And by then the guy that could do it in 5 minutes will be back. So it's like, do you want to spend the next 2 weeks of my time, defer all the other projects I'm going to work on to fix one bug for one customer? So it's just like, it's not that like I give up, but it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. And this is like, that's huge amount of tech debt. Management always says make it happen, and they don't get to go and look. Yeah, that's exactly it. So thankfully you get managers sometimes like that, trust your opinion on things. I have the same, this was on an old team too, at a different company. And my new company is the same way. Like my manager just trusts me. My manager's not technical at all. So he'll just call and say, give me an idea of how complicated you think this problem is. And then I just tell them and they go, okay. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Sometimes it takes a senior engineer to be able to make that call efficiently. Yeah, nothing is impossible, right? There are probably some very, very niche situations that would probably be technically impossible. But yeah, it's just like, man, is this effort really worth it? Did the customer say they will wait 2 weeks? They're like, yeah, but they'd prefer not to. Well, okay, so the first part of the answer was yeah, so just tell them to wait. It sucks, but you're not in a dissimilar situation, to be honest. That's good. By not in a dissimilar situation, you mean you are in a similar situation to having someone who trusts your opinion? If so, that's good. Okay, so the count of bots should really be, I'm trying to figure the equalized balance. That's a strong statement. Not in a dissimilar. So you are in a similar situation is a strong statement. That's why you went for the double negative. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure how to read that, but okay. So the equalized balance minus the equalized balance, that's how much is left over. I divide that out amongst the count of bots minus 1, right? Because this bot already has its equalized balance. Balance minus the equalized balance divided by the count of bots, all of them, minus this bot, is how much it needs to send to all the other bots to get down to its equalized balance. Okay, that works. And then I will do this loop again. And for each bot name, if the bot name equals caller, we're going to continue. Actually, I guess I might as well just say if it's not equal to caller, and then do midsec dot accounts dot x for gc2. The 2 will be the bot name, and the amount will be balance to send. I could have a memo. It's equalization payment. Does that give me any value? It will help if I'm trying to diagnose a problem, I suppose. Bank net equalization. Transfer. So this will be imperfect. This needs to do math.floor as well. So this will be an imperfect balance, which is fine because it means that the bots will always be sending GC around amongst themselves constantly, which is okay because it helps kind of shuffle things up a little bit. I suppose I could even add some random variance as well, but I don't think that that's totally necessary. Like if I did if I added or subtracted like a variance on the balance from like minus 1,000 to plus 1,000, do I need to obfuscate? I don't think that's really necessary. I don't think that's really necessary. All right. So it's going to check in and equalize and then be done. It's going to check in, it's going to equalize, and then the balance it checked in with is immediately wrong. Security through obscurity isn't actually security. You could do this, but if they breach your users, they're going to be able to make correlations, unless you're air gapping them. Yeah, I'm not really too worried, I guess. The idea with the distributed botnet is each bot doesn't have much more on it than the bot brain and some GC. And so if a bot gets compromised, I can just retire it and replace it and just copy the script into it, get the cron bot up, done, right? Yeah, it's not really worth it. Yeah, it's not really worth it. And if someone had enough data, they'd be able to see that there's a plus or minus 1,000 variance on the balances. So they would figure that out anyway if they spent any time looking at the data. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's a good suggestion. All right, I have to use the bathroom, so I am going to take like a 5-minute break here, and we're up for an ad break in about 9 minutes anyway. So I'm gonna run an ad, a 3-minute ad that should take care of the rest of the stream, and step away for like 5 or so minutes to go to the bathroom. So I will be back. Coffee re-up, yes, also coffee re-up. Okay, so I'll be back. All right, I am back. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Okay. All right, got a bit more coffee, not quite enough for a full cup. That's all right. I'm pretty awake now. Okay. So, right, I need another cron bot for my second bank user. Well, let's go. What did I have for my, what's the cooldown on the one that I had up here? 2485. So get something similar. If I do, it's 41 minutes, so I can get something around the same time. That'd probably be okay. I suppose I might have to do like less than 2485 and I don't know if you can combine them. I've never done this before. 2500 and 2400. Oh, there you go. Selection, code selection. Does my timeout calculation take into account the event of me being logged in on the user? No. No, it doesn't. So that would basically mean the cooldown would be twice, right? Because it would be cooldown times 2. And I think that's too long. So that's tough. When does the timer start for a cron? Does it start when you load it? Can't I do a check on user login? Well, that would be user logging into the main script, right? So, yes, it starts when I load the upgrade. So I think what I'd have to do, Smork, is I'd have to make sure that if I log in to one of my botnet users, that I unload and reload the cron bot upgrade in case I accidentally just made it go offline. You just came back. Can I summarize in 30 words or less what my goal is? And you can noodle on it. Yeah, so my goal is just to have more than one place to store my GC, because right now my out-of-process automation is going to pretty quickly overwhelm the single user bank that I have. So I want to make sure that I can automatically distribute the GC between multiple users. And since I'm going to be doing that, I want to make sure that if any of them get breached, they can be retired and easily replaced. So I want to have a bot script of some kind that I can basically just like add nodes to my bank botnet, right? I want to be able to add and remove nodes whenever I want. And the adding a node will be simply loading the bot brain on it with the script, and then just kind of like dust my hands off and leave. I think further down the line, I will use those bank users as key vaults as well. So I will also use them like safety deposit boxes, essentially. And I'll be able to distribute upgrades amongst them as well. But that's not right now. Right now, it's just going to be GC. Users.last_action. Is that a thing? There is no users, though, is there? Oh. I don't even know what that is. I've never seen this one before. I've never used any of, I think I've used users.inspect. I haven't used any of the other users commands before. Check if a user exists. Do it on myself, then do it on a bogus username. Demo, you're talking about users.inspect. Last action is extremely powerful for botnet management. Huh. So if I'm logged in on one of these botnet users, when the cron ticks, it will defer, right? Nothing. Is logging in an action? I don't know. I don't know anything about this stuff. So what my botnet currently does is it checks in, right? They check in every time it runs. So they'll call in, they'll call this endpoint. It'll check in with my dictionary at my bot manager, essentially. And it checks, it's using the cooldown time of the cron plus 10 seconds to determine whether or not it's down. But you're saying that I should check that, and then if this fails, I should also check the last action? Whoops. Find tier 1 NPC, check, breach, pop, check. You get a timestamp and no result. So I'm just not, I'm not entirely sure if I need to do this. Let me think for a sec here. You tested to be sure, but last action should not let you know if something failed. Set a flag in your database with your cron, then pull a report of anything longer than your longest cron, and you know if something unloaded. Right, but I would have to... So there has to be a triggering action for this check, right? So what's the triggering action? Is it another bot? Because then I kind of have the same problem. My bot doing the check could go down. Check it in another cron. Yeah, but like... So for scope, right? Try not. We're gonna try to keep the scope small to start, because right now I have no bots and no botnet.
Brondo's got what? Thanks, Crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
Thanks, Joestar.
What are
You're gonna make me
electrolytes?
finish my
Do you
coffee
even
early.
know?
It's what they used to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo? Because Ronald's got electrolytes.
It's got electrolytes. And hello, Jorstar. It's nice to see you, thanks. So my bots will all check coffee with electrolytes. It probably has some electrolytes in it. So my bots all check each other's bot infos, right? From the central script. Part of what they do when they go into the script is they check the statuses and mark anything as offline, right? So if my whole botnet goes down, yes, I'll be screwed. But the last bot to go down will have sent a message to my primary user that says every other bot is down, right? So I get a message if one bot goes offline right now on my primary user. So if they all go offline, I don't need it to self-recover. It doesn't have to be that sophisticated right now because I don't have the infrastructure to be that sophisticated. Hey Hactix, how you doing? Welcome in. I could use chat API to send a Discord message. I could. You guys have a lot of really good ideas. Hactix is banned? Hactix is not banned as far as I knew. Hactix has been here before. So I could have an alternate condition that checks if the bot's really offline, or if the last action was within the cooldown window. Oh, you're just kidding? Oh, that's more like when someone walks into the bar. Who let this guy in here? I thought you were banned on Twitch. So, okay, so people are saying a lot of things in chat right now. There's a lot of ideas here. They're all great ideas. Like I'm gonna add some to-dos for some of this stuff for sure. So we got to do use chat API to send Discord message. To do use last action. I'm still not sure. Okay. What is your concern when you say I should be using users.last action? What is your concern? What are you worried about is going to happen to my bots? That I'm going to be logged in when the cron ticks and then it'll be delayed, right? So it's not technically offline. It's still up, it just got delayed. So is that the secondary check? Is that the intention for using last action? So if it says the cooldown has elapsed, yeah, that's why you're suggesting it? Okay. So if the cooldown has elapsed, oh man, my nose is itchy. So dry in here. Do one more check before saying that it's down, and the check should be, is the last action within the cooldown? Demo, you're just saying that it's a way to check when the user exists or when it last did something. Yeah, like I've learned about users last action today from the two of you, so that is very helpful. That's knowledge that will stick. So I am appreciative of that. So now I'm just trying to figure out, with that in mind, I think that we can use it here, like the way Smork was suggesting, so that if it has lapsed, give it basically another opportunity. Before marking it as offline. The only problem there, though, is maybe a retry attempts. So here's the problem, right? If one of my bots is offline and I log into that bot and I am diagnosing the problem, and then another bot kicks off its cron to go check, it's not going to mark it as offline. But it is offline, and it should have been offline. Just because I've logged into the bot doesn't mean it's online, right? It doesn't mean it's online, just because I've logged in and I'm running a command on it manually. So, I don't think that that's a bulletproof way. In fact, if I log in and run a command, I could mark it as active instead of offline, I guess, but that's just like... That's just adding a third status, right? It's not necessarily, like, what would I do differently? Right now, the only thing I have is a balance, so what would I do differently on active versus offline? Don't update the last action unless the action came from a cron. Don't update the last action. Doesn't cron update the last action? So my action is doing a date time now. It has nothing to do with last action timestamp, right? The timestamp I add into my dictionary is just date now when the bot checks in, and the check-in comes from the cron. So it's irrelevant. The last action date is irrelevant. The cron fired now. Stamp that time now in the database. There's no reason I need to do anything different than that. At least not for this path, right? So the last action time would only matter for other bots. Last action, that's kind of what you were saying originally? Okay. So I'm already doing that, right? I do timestamp is now when I update it. Cron runs do count for last action. So like right now I'm using the cooldown of the cron. When it calls in, it sends its cooldown value as well. And so this was Flux's idea. So when the time until a bot is considered inactive is variable. I don't have like a hard number. So the last action doesn't really, I don't see how that would just give me, I think that would just give me ambiguous status, right? I have an up or down, or an ambiguous status, which is I logged in just as the cron happened to tick, and now it's going to falsely report itself as down. But I'm not really going to be logging in and out of these bot users once it's up and running. And if I got into the habit of restarting my cron when I log in or out of a bot user, then it'll be down, but just for like 20 minutes or whatever, 40 minutes. I could run the bot brain manually, then reload the cron, and then leave. And then my bot would only go down for like 30 seconds. It would only be offline for 30 seconds in the database because the time would elapse, and then it would check in 30 seconds later, the distance between me running the script manually and then reloading the cron, right? So that's a manual task. I Yeah, I'm not. So last action, I think, would help me figure out. I think it's unnecessary for core functionality to differentiate between active and offline. It's fancy, and it would be nice to see, but it shouldn't prevent them from distributing GC. Yes, I agree. So, at a glance, if I wanted to run a script that would tell me the status of all of my bots, I would use last action, because that would tell me if they're running. Right? If the last action was within the last hour. If it's not within the last hour, they're all offline, because I'm not going to have any cron bots, I don't think, loaded that are going to run less than once per hour. So that would be good at a glance. But since the banknet specifically is check-in based, right? They're all checking in with a central user. I can just record the time of their last check-in, and the last action isn't needed for this scenario. I don't think it's needed. My bot brain script could actually take a parameter that says reset, and what it would do is it would check itself in, and then, oh, what happens if you unload the bot brain and then load it from the script? So I could call this bot brain public from another user, and it says reload. And the script runs, and the last thing it does is it unloads the bot brain and then loads it. And then ends. Would that work? Because I could get into the habit of logging out of the bot user, and then from another user calling into it and saying reset, and it will go, okay, let me check in to reset my timestamp, log out, log in. Why not have the bot brain's last action to check if it's loaded, and then load it if it's not? You can't sysmanage load or unload unless you're logged into the user. So, I mean, I could do that though. I could run the script from itself. What's the caller? What's the value of caller? If the context caller, if it's the upgrade running it, is it just the username? Or is the caller the bot brain? How do you tell? Is there a parameter that you can tell c.isBrain? Okay. So I could have it. So if c.isBrain is false, then I could load or I could unload and load. Hack ticks back you up. Is brain. What does this do again? I want to see the result of this. The caller is the user on which the cron bot is loaded. IsBrain property is set if the script is called from a cron run. Make a test script, return the context real quick, and leave it on my bot user. Might as well get all the info. That's true. That's true. Why Why do I have 2 here? Did I make a mistake? Oh, ha! That's meant to go to my other user. There we go. So if loaded is false, so I already have the cron bot here, so I can do if cron bot dot loaded is false, there's the issue that cron gets unloaded when you run it manually. You don't know when exactly that triggers. It triggers on the next attempted cron run. So it might be able to load itself but get unloaded because it's running manually. You have start of cron, manual action. Next run, it unloads. Manual cron script run, to be clear. Other scripts won't make it unload. What if you load the cron upgrade from the botbrain script like I'm doing? Does that mean on its next run it will unload it because it was a manual run? Like this is manual here, right? Is manual. That's what you're wondering? It's gonna be hard to test this because it's 40-minute interval. Maybe I should buy like a 5-minute bot brain that costs like a ridiculous amount of GC just for testing. If cronbot is loaded, then I'm gonna unload it. Sys.manage, and I'm gonna unload cronbot.i, and then I'm gonna load cronbot.i at the very end. You got a bounce demo? Okay. Thanks for coming by, demo. Have a good one. So what you've seen in your testing flux is when you run the bot brain manually, it immediately unloads it. If you load it back up, the next run fails but won't unload. So if I call it manually, if it's loaded, it'll unload it and then reload it after it does its calculation to check in. This is getting complicated. Okay. And then the bots themselves, I'm just going to keep their timestamps based off of the check-in and the bank and the bots cooldown. That's when the retry count comes in. That would make sense. So assuming I at least have one retry, which I think I do because all the greens I think have at least one retry. So that should be okay, right? So I could manually run the bot brain script and then switch users. So if I have to do any manual work on my bot, I have to remember to go to run the script manually and then leave. Assuming that works. Okay. So should we up bot brain here? It's good that it's under 500 characters, but it's going to have to do more than that anyway, because it has to support withdrawing. Also, I can probably make some of this a little smaller. I don't need scripts.lib, I don't think. So okay, let's go back to my library user. And let's, oh, actually, you know what? No. Let's add the withdraw support here. Which means I'll have to make it public. So I will add my whitelist call. I have the to-do here to update my punishment. Jorster, some people tend to just call other scripts from the bot brain. Is a good script to call hacktix.croncache? I bet. So you want, so the only thing, Jorstar, I mean, certainly I could have the equalization in the central script. Actually, maybe I should do that. Let's copy this. And when the bot check-in happens, update any offline bots, update itself, which is irrelevant. What I should do actually is I should defer this until it's as close to being done as possible. I think that's right. Okay, so it's going to check in, it's going to get all the bots, it's going to shift any of them to an offline status, then it's going to try to equalize its GC with the other online bots, then it's going to stamp itself as being active, and then it's going to update the database, and then it's going to notify nope, it has to do this first, or it won't count itself in the total. Okay, so mark itself as up, might as well update the database then. Okay, attempt to equalize its GC. No, shit! I want to equalize its GC before doing the... The balance of all the bots changes after I do the equalization. The balance of all of them changes. So my database is immediately out of date. I update it, and then all the values are immediately out of date. What you've seen people do, Jorstar, is have an order of operations in all different scripts. Then all scripts stop if runtime gets to a certain number. So the runtime of BotBrain is never more than 5 seconds. Then all scripts stop if the runtime gets to a certain amount. I don't think any of this should take more than 5 seconds for sure, because I'm only making like 4 or 5 calls. Actually, I'm making like, a lot of them are system calls, so they shouldn't take any time. You're just saying? Yeah. I mean, certainly when I get, so there's two things, right? There's a botnet that does a whole bunch of shit, and there's this botnet, which is just key and GC management. The key and GC management botnet is extremely simple. It's only going to do like 3 things. So I don't really think it's going to necessitate some of this extra complexity we're talking about in chat, with like active times and up times and run times. It's good information to know. It's just not, it's not in scope of the bank stuff. It's not something we have to worry about for the bank management, purely bank management botnet at this time. So as part of the loop where I send the GC, I could also add that amount to the balance of the user in the database. So I update the caller's balance. So I'll have to do a couple different things here, right? So I have to mark any bots that are offline. I have to mark this bot as online. Okay, that updates its entry. And update. I can then attempt to equalize, and equalizing is going to involve going through, what if 2 of my bots run at the same time? What are they going to do to the balances in the database? They're going to be fucked. Oh, this is spiraling out of control and complexity. I think I would like to... I think I need to focus on just getting it running, because right now it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't run, it's not functional. I think I have to worry about these edge cases later. So, issue. What happens during a race condition? I don't think that'll happen, because that might be like a 1 in a million collision. What are you saying here, Jorstar? Let's say you have a bot check-in and a GC management, key management. Then they do, say, inventory sorting and nice to haves if they have enough runtime. Some people even have a scraper and an end of life on the scrapes. So for the automations, they just call the scrapes from the database. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that too, actually. The DB should also store the GC max to know when you're getting full. I need to add more users to the bank. You should make the bot only ever mark itself as online. Hackmud is a single thread. So when I mean like race condition, whoops, where did I just go there? So Smark, when I mean race condition, I mean like 2 cron bots run this code at the exact same time. Right? They both call this script at the same time from their cron bots. What happens if they're both grabbing balances and they're both trying to equalize at the same time? It's probably incredibly unlikely that it happens, which is why I'm not going to solve it now. It should self-correct the next time a bot runs. That's correct. Yeah, that's a good point, Flux. So it will self-correct at least. Should self-correct on next bot run, at least. I just want to mark it down as a potential issue so that I'm aware. So Jorstar, I do have the bot only mark itself as up here. Mark this bot as online. It marks other bots as offline though. Each bot will mark any other bots that haven't checked in on time as offline. It will only update itself as online though. So then it will go and it will get all the balances for all the online bots. It will calculate what the equalized balance should be, so what balance each bot should have. Then it's going to send each amount, and who was it? Flux? Yeah, Flux. You were saying. So Smork, you say worry about. Okay, let's to do. Check when approaching max GC. Max GC for the whole net, I guess. It's just max GC. Max GC for for the bank net, I guess. Okay. So it's going to send the amounts, and then each time it sends an amount, it should add the same value to that user's balance in the banknet. So banknet at this is the wrong loop. This one. Banknet equalization transfer, and then balance plus equals balance to send. So that updates its value in the banknet database as well, and then it will update it. So that should keep them all up to date. Whew. Then this bot sends 1 GC as the notification tags. I'm gonna do balance is R minus 1 because I'm about to. Shit. See Jorstar? Do you see that? I'm getting better at this. Alright, so balance here is mark this bot, so balance of caller. Should have done F12 or F2. Okay, let's go do F2. Well, no, that's not going to work in this instance because both of these variables, I pasted this code from another script where the variable names were different. So it wouldn't have worked right here. I guess it would have worked for that instance. Doesn't matter. I will do F2 next time though. So, okay. I'm just gonna lineify this so it's easier to read. Okay. So the balance for this bot is the balance of the caller because it's the bot calling in. In fact, the balance of owner is never going to matter because my library user is not ever going to have any GC on it because it has no locks. It's all just scripts. So balance, where was I? Okay, so balance of caller is here. That's the balance inside the botnet database. If the equalized balance is less than the balance of the caller, balance to send is the balance of the caller minus the equalized balance. And then update the database balance. Status of 1 or 0 would be less characters in the database, but it will be irrelevant when I minify it. And this will prevent me when I'm doing like a botnet status report, I can just print out the value of this instead of having to map it. This script is also on my library user, which has a ridiculously high character count, so I don't need that. I don't need the 1 or 0. Also, this gives me the opportunity to have ambiguous or other status types. You're just messing with me? No, I mean, it's a good point though, Jorstar. It's a good point. 100 would be less cars. Okay. I get messed with very easily. You've probably already figured that out. People mess with me all the time. Alright, so balance of color, equalize balance. I will then, so I will do, what I should do is do balance of color minus minus, because I'm going to subtract the one, take the chats.tell tax off. If I use public bot brain scripts, I could have each bot call every other bot with a special arg that returns the balance of the owner after I do all the transactions. Then it would always be accurate, and I would see if any of the users got their GC drained. Shit. If you get breached, the bot brain comes offline though, right? What happens if you have a cron bot and the user gets breached? The upgrade comes offline, but you could still call the public script. If you have binmat, you have time to drain your account before you get breached. Ooh, that's good to know. I don't think I have binmat though. I don't even know how to check any of that stuff. This is all... Yeah, this is like breach detection and stuff is all way too advanced for this right now. It's way too advanced. My defense for being breached is to retire. Is to retire and then run my out of process automation to recover. It's really expensive, so it's more for late game. Yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, I don't have any of that binmat breach detection, anything like that. I don't even know what binmat is. I know it's some kind of mini game lock or something. Okay, so take off the chats tell tax. Update the balance of this. Update the balance of this bot. Equalize the GC of all my bots. I send the equalization payment to the other bots in the network, and then I update their balances. And then I update my balance again. This is after sending all of the equalization payments. Update this bot's balance after sending equalization payments. Xfers, I guess. Flux, you wish you were less attached to usernames. That's a good strategy. Jorstar's main account has been breached by Zezbot. You only used it for cracking, your other users are fine. I mean, that's probably how they got your location in the first place. You might have accidentally stamped. I know my primary user, I stamped my location on a honeypot. I already noticed it. There's a user in tier 1 that's that is disguised as an NPC. And I breached it, and I noticed by accident the NPC was still around, and I went and checked their access logs, and my username was in there and a ton of other people's usernames. So it might have happened. You might not have even noticed. Unless you're doing that check after you breach an NPC. In fact, I'm gonna put a to-do in my cracking script. To notify if the NPC is still active. To do note check target last action, I guess. Check users.last action name a.t to see if the NPC, oh, what, I just got a bot brain thing, is still alive, and notify. Your location will leak regardless at some point anyway. That's true, yeah, that is very true. You still have 3 users in VLAN in case you don't want the name. Timeout can also lead to the user still being up. I have timeouts for my automation anyway. Unless you mean like a legitimate server timeout. If the script times out, I give it continuation token and continue until I breach them. Botbrain upgrade not loaded and queued. Botbrain has been unloaded. Okay, so that was my Botbrain. What was that? I hadn't loaded the I hadn't loaded it. That's kind of weird. Why did I get that message when I didn't even have the upgrade loaded though? It was unloaded. That's weird. Is that from the other one that I had loaded by accident? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I put that to do my cracking script. My bot brain no longer does the equalization in the brain script. It does the equalization. Attempt to equalize GC. It updates the balance of each bot. Update the balance of each bot of each other bot as we send, I guess. Update this bot's balance after sending equalization transfers. Update the database. Notify primary user of any offline bots. This is our tax, which we subtracted from our balance here. I suppose we don't need to update the no, we do need to update its current balance in the dictionary for doing the totaling for the equalization amounts. Okay, I think that's the best way to do that. So the brain is now, I don't need this. F2? Oh, you do F2 first. F2? Ah, nice. Nice. Okay. Now I write a chatbot that reads the chat's tells and sends a log, and then log the status in Discord. I could. Yeah, chat's API is like a whole other beast that I should probably put in my plan. Learn how to use chat's API. Okay. So the bot brain script is now 295 characters, which is great. That's nice and small. though it does need the withdraw support. So it's just this. So if this is going to be the only public amount, so I think this could just be if a dot withdraw is not equal to null, then I could do low sec. Is it low sec accounts X for GC? Midsec. X for GC to caller. Flux, you don't fully understand what makes bot brains load or unload, honestly. When you unload a bot, you still get a notification when the next cycle would have been. I think that's what just happened. Yeah, I think that's what just happened too. Is because when I bought that second cron bot off the market, it loaded it automatically. And because I had a bot brain script in my user scripts, that it loaded it, and then I unloaded the module and sent it away, and then it went to try to run it, but the brain errored, saying you have to have the upgrade loaded and queued, and because it wasn't, it unloaded the script, which is fine. So it seems to load the script when you load the upgrade as a pair and not as a separate command. I think there was some question about that before. Cronbot unloads if you don't have enough GC, if there is an error in the script, and running any commands between runs cause the next cycle to error as many times as you ran commands. Yeah, so I have 2 retries, that means I can run 2 other scripts without disrupting my bot. But if I run a 3rd script, the bot comes offline because it's used up all its retries. I think, right? All right, coffee's all gone. Okay. So, and then if I call this manually, I will unload the cron bot and load it again. So this way, Jorstar, as long as I get myself in the habit of running the bot brain as my last command manually on a bot user, if I log into it, I can do a whole bunch of stuff, and then I can run the bot brain, it'll synchronize, unload the cron bot and reload it, and then I'll log out, and then it should be good every time if I follow that procedure. Okay, so if I withdraw is not equal to null, I will transfer that amount to the caller. Okay. This needs to now be, okay, so before I do that, I need a deposit action in my library user. So if a.action equals deposit, or not, so what do I got here? I can do this. If it's called without, so my ATM script used to do this by this, except it's not going to do that anymore because the X for GC is going to be divide the total amount by the total number of bots and send to all the bots. That's the new deposit logic. Joester, you're not sure if there are more scenarios for bot unloading? These are just the ones you know of? Yeah, and I think some of this is going to be some trial and error that we're going to learn as we see these things happening. Okay, so let's go back to our bank user. So I need, I'm going to get rid of these scripts. I'm going to have a new function. Actually, let's do this. Let deposit equal, and we're going to use this new shortened function declaration because that could save us some characters. This way we can make our function names as long as we want, and they should get minified, because that's the difference between this declaration and the other one. If we use just the function, regular function declaration, the minifier does not minify the function name. So this way we can have nice long function names. So the deposit is just going to be an amount. And so we have the bank net. So it's going to be this loop, similar to this loop. So we're going to get all the up bots. And we are going to, oh, hold on. We take the total amount. Okay, this is the number of bots that are up. Let bot count equal 0. Bot count plus plus, because we need the number of bots. There's probably a better way of doing this. Object.keys. Banknet filter x, where x dot status equals up dot length. Online bots. That's probably better than doing the keys, right? If I don't need to loop them. I'm not sure which one of these is better, because I can do online bots.count, right? Or .length. This will give me the total amount. So the distributed amount will equal online bots dot length will be n divided by online bots dot length. Math dot floor Jorstar, last time you saw someone do a bank network, they used a single user for sending and receiving, and the brains made sure the balance get equalized between all of them, but it was all T4 users. So I actually am doing kind of the same thing. So with help from Flux, because that's what Flux is doing, my library user is going to be the point of entry for the GC. So for the bank net, I should say. So the central bank script will be on my library user, who itself has no GC. And then the bots will all kind of, so the library user will attempt to evenly distribute the amount across my bots, but it may not be perfect. I'm going to have to calculate actually the difference between this, because there could be a remainder, right? If I have 4 bots and the number is not divisible by 4, one of the bots won't get, one or more of the bots will be short a GC. So I have to do something with the extra, like 1, 2, or 3 GC. Do functions like this actually get shortened? You tested yesterday with function name this and let name this, and the resulting characters were the same. Okay, so this is 886. And this is 886. So no. So the answer is no. All right, well, good to know. You think both get shortened? I think both don't get shortened, actually, because I found the function. This is why I started going down that path, because I found the full function name in my minified script. You have to put all the lets on one statement with a comma to save characters. You mean like this? Nope, that didn't make a difference either. Still 886. So I think there's just limits. I think there's just limits to how the functions get minified themselves. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the end result shows that all three of those result in the same number of characters. So either it's being minified no matter what, or it's not being minified no matter what. And it's totally out of my control unless I want to change this to a D. 886. Nope. So it looks like it does get minified. It's not being minified. You just looked. Well, I changed the function. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not even calling the function right now, so it might be getting optimized right out of the whole script because there's no references. So let's finish writing this function first, and then we'll figure out what's going on. So there's a distributed amount, and there's a over a remainder amount, and the remainder amount is going to be n minus distributed amount. So I have all my online bots. Flux, you were saying something about you do object.entries. Object.entries, do you do a filter on it? Like for let bank bot of object.entries of banknet dot filter. Like, is that what you're doing? I think that might actually be longer than just doing this. Oh no, it's shorter probably. Tell me how many characters I have. 36 selected, and this is 27, so that is shorter. So for each online bot in this, I can do online bot makes more sense to do this, right? And then I can just do online bots because I need the length here. So for each bot, I want to do I do X for GC2, basically do this, right? X for GC2 online bot, the distributed amount, flux online bots equals object entries banknet filter x1 status equals up, distribute amount equals online bots dot reduce. Reduce. Is that for the equalization, Flux? This is for the depositing, right? So this is just taking the amount that comes in, cutting it up, sending it off to the bots. Is that the logic that you're using for the equalization payments? So if I send the distributed amount and I go banknet deposit, and then so I do banknet deposit, then I have to, that's how you get the total balance of all your online bots. Okay, yeah, so the total balance would be for this, right? Yours looks like more characters than mine, honestly. But if I did dot filter, well, you know what? One thing at a time. I can optimize this later, like shortly, imminently, but I want to get this function finished. So I do all of the transfers. I have a remainder amount. I'm then going to transfer the remainder amount to online bots. Sorry, online bot. Fuck. I need the name though, and the name is not in the entry, it's the key. So I actually can't do this. Object.entries. This one still needs to be object.keys. Filter where X entries gives you the keys and the values. Oh. Or are they in key value pairs? Is that where you're doing X at 1? Like that? Because it gives you an array? Then, oh yeah, you just said that. Yeah, X at 0 is the name. Okay. So then I would do this at 0. Online bot at 0 is the key name. Okay. Array of arrays. Awesome. Thank you. Alright, so online bots.length is the number of bots. For each bot in there, the bot at 0 is its name. And then I will do the equalization payment. Sorry, the one of these bots needs to take the remainder, right? One of them has to do distributed amount plus remainder. So how do I know that this is the first online bot, other than just having an int in here? Is there a better way of doing this? If I equals 1, then remainder amount, otherwise 0. So the first bot will get the distributed amount plus any remainder. All the other bots will get the distributed amount. Whole balance gets sent off. And then I need to update the balances as I'm doing this. And I have that right here already. Update the balance of each bot. This is starting to look familiar. Like there's a pattern for sending GC to a bot, or sending GC to all bots. Appears to be have some common code, so I may be able to use deposit here for this. We'll look at that later though. I just want to get it working. I'm a rapid prototyping kind of guy, so I prefer to get stuff working and then make it look good afterward. Make it more efficient after it's working. Because there's no point copying code and making everything common and then you have a bug and then it was like, well, I just copied my bug everywhere or whatever. So update the balance of each bot after we transfer. So banknet at online bot. Or I suppose I can just do online bot.balance. And then this should be let balance to send equal this. Balance to send, balance to send. Okay. Do I have to do online bot at 1.balance to send? I think I do, right? Okay. Okay. And then this should be deposit balance of caller. Okay. This should be losec dot xylib dot bank with no parameters, which should deposit everything if they're not whitelisted. I'll update that later after it's working. Deposit should just have an amount parameter, I think. So if I want to deposit just a specific amount, if amount equals null, parameter amount is mandatory, deposit a.amount. Oh, the only problem is if I send this through as a GC string, I have to convert it to a numerical string to be able to do the math on it. So I have to detect that here. If a.amount a to z, right? If there's any numerical, or if there's any alpha characters in here, then let amount equal a.amount, test amount. If that's true, amount is going to equal lib dot from gc stir amount, and then deposit amount. Otherwise, this deposits the balance of the whole caller. This allows me, the deposit command allows me to deposit a specific amount that's not the entire balance. and then I need to be able to withdraw. And withdrawing should be pretty simple. I should have a total amount that I want to withdraw. It's basically going to be the reverse logic. So now let's see. This is 1118 characters. So if I replace this with a let deposit equal this to this, now that it's being used, that's actually more characters. And then someone else was saying it has to be letted on the same line to get minified properly. So let's see if that has any effect. It does, but only by 2 characters. So it looks like the function declaration is actually shorter when minified. And if I make this D, yeah, I saved 18 characters. So it isn't minifying. And I think Jorstar, you were saying that earlier, that you looked and it wasn't minifying. So it looks like there is no way to minify the function names. You have to do it yourself. So if you're looking for script space and you have a lot of functions, keep that in mind. Or looking for character space, keep that in mind that you'll have to minify it. You have to pass an option. Pass an option to HSE, Smork, to minify the function names. You don't know what it is? Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's not important right now because we're not desperate for characters. I have like 5,800 characters in my library user, so it's dash dash something. Okay. I'm not worried about it right now anyway. Just something to keep in mind. It doesn't happen by it doesn't happen automatically. Okay, so I don't need that. All right. Okay, so withdraw is going to be some of the same logic here, but in reverse. So withdraw n. We're going to take the distributed amount, which is going to be n per bot. There's going to be a remainder. Balance to withdraw. That's just to take, I guess. If we're going to do send and take. X for GC2 is going to be replaced with I can't call them as scripts from a script because the username is variable. You can't do that. You can't use a scripter. I can't do ms.botname .botbrain. The script is hard-coded. It's going to be botbrain. The problem is the user is variable. You can't loop through users and call their names because the username part of the scripter cannot be a variable. It's a literal. It has to be a literal. What are you doing, Flux, for withdrawals? Like, I would have to hard-code them all. And not into an array. I have to just hard-code them all, one after the other. but then I'd be withdrawing from distributed withdraws as your next step. Well, Flux, then you are going to be having the exact same problem as me here. So I would have to hardcode them and skip them if they are down in a loop. Not even a loop, a giant if statement. Like I would have to do midsec.zybank.botbrain and withdraw balance to take. I'd have to do if online bots dot if online bot at 0 equals Zybank, then this, and I have to do this for each bank user. So I have to update this every time. I have to update this section of my central script every time I add a node. Keep an object mapping bot names to fake scripters. Keep an object mapping bot names to fake scripters. Object mapping bot name to fake scripter. To fake scripter. Users equal flux at args. Loop through to call each of them. Let users equal. So it's an array of scripters. And then I would name each one. Zybank, for example. At amount is this. Is that what you're talking about? Doesn't like something about this. Property assignment is expected. I have a superfluous. There. Like that? I'll still have to update the main script every time I add a user. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around that, unfortunately. And then loop through them here. For let, I still only want to do the ones that are online though. You can just add a new user to that object instead of messing with spaghetti code. Yes, that is true. So this is easier because I just add the map, essentially, function. So I'll do bot withdrawals. So then I'll do for let withdraw of bot withdrawals if withdrawal at 0 equals bot withdrawals at online bot. Balance to take. Right? I think that's right. That looks right? It looks right? Okay. I do realize that I want the withdraw to have a memo in it. Banknet withdrawal. But that's in the brain. Okay. And then update the balance of each bot as we transfer. And this will be minus equals the balance to send. So in here though, I still have to make sure that I can actually do this. Check to make sure the withdrawal is possible. So the first one we'll take the remainder from. So I should probably add like protection in here to give myself a buffer for the balancing calculations where everything's kind of transferring the small amounts. So I'll probably be unable to totally empty my botnet of GC using the withdraw command. But that's okay because I don't think I'll ever have to be like, I need every single last GC out of my botnet. It'd probably be better at that point to take it offline and empty all of them manually. I can't think of a use case where I'd have to do that anyway. My only use case would be to remove a single bot from my botnet, and right now that would have to be manual also, because I'd be retiring users and stuff, so. This is probably good enough if I give myself enough of a safety on the balance check. Okay. So the deposit should work. The withdraw should work. Well, I should probably do this to you now. So the total amount is across all of my online bots. Oh, I'm already doing that. Online bots and Flux, you're using reduce, which I'm not familiar with, so I'm just going to go and look that up real quick. So what does reduce do? Subtracts all the numbers in an array, round all the numbers. Do I not want like a sum? Is there not a sum? Oh, and reduce, round all the numbers in an array and display the sum. Numbers dot reduce get sum zero. Value to be passed to the function as the initial value. The accumulated result from the last call of the callback function. Total and number. Total plus number. The MDN web docs explains it better. Oh. I think I get it though. It just takes a function, a cumulative function that takes two parameters, a running total and the number to do something to the running total with. So total and number, and the function is returning an action that's a function of those two numbers, yeah. So, I essentially just, let me see if I can write this myself. So, dot reduce, and I want a function, and the function should just be, I don't know maybe necessarily the syntax here, but I'm just going to wing it for a sec. So I want t and n to be t plus n, 0. That should do it. Let total balance equal this. If total balance, and we're going to give ourselves some padding here. T is just the total and N is the current value. Yeah. I'm just going to put that note there for me in case I forget what reduce does. It's hard learning JavaScript just from hackmud because I don't use it anywhere else, like in my job or anything. So these like one-off, like I'm using reduce here and I may not use it for a while. It kind of just like tumbles out of my short-term memory. So if total balance, we'll do like if total balance minus like 100,000. Just to give us some padding here. That's probably a lot. I could probably just do 10,000. If total balance minus 10,000 is greater than n, this needs to return something, I guess. Then I can just return false. Otherwise, I'll do this. This is withdraw all of the totals into the lib user. Oh. This means I'm capped by the lib user's GC total, max GC. So what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking that I should have the bots send the money to the user that requested it, bypassing my library user. So instead of withdrawing them all into my library user and then sending a lump sum, I just say, I'm requesting a certain amount from my banknet, please. And then all of my bots will send all of the pieces to the user. So it doesn't have to go through a single point of failure for GC totals. So this way my library user, I want my library user to always stay at tier 2, because I don't want it to lose upgrades by getting breached and have to worry about wasting upgrade slots with locks and all that stuff right now. But I may want one of my bank users to go up to tier 3. Or my main user that's requesting the GC may be at tier 3. So I might want, 6 billion GC. Each of my banks can hold 5. Loaded upgrades are safe at tier 3. Right, but my library user still holds all my keys and everything right now. So it's not safe at all at the moment. Anyway, but even with the botnet having 2 bots on it, that's a total of 10 billion GC. I should be able to request 7 billion GC from my banknet. But with my library user being the single point of entry, the 7 billion GC won't fit into the library user to then get sent on. So I think I'm going to change the withdraw command to be an X for GC2, and it will take a name. So it will be a withdraw and a withdraw 2. So there will be a withdraw and A.2. And this is going to be X for GC2. And it's going to be 2A.2 amount of this, and the memo banknet withdraw. So it doesn't go into my lib user at all. Okay? I think that's a better way of doing that. So this is going to call them. The library user doesn't have to do anything other than update the totals, which it can do here. Oh, that's fair. I'm leaning forward a little bit too much, I think.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes?
I'm
Do you
empty.
even know?
I'm empty,
what-
Joestar.
They used to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got
I owe you a hydration. You know what? I'll be right back. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. I have water in here now from my tap right around the corner. So delicious, slightly coffee flavored tap water. All right. We're almost done anyway. We're almost done for the morning. So, all right. Everything's good. Gotta make another coffee. I gotta make lunch soon. I'm hungry. Alright, so when we deposit everything, we're updating the balance. We have to remember to update the database. These are all by reference, right? Like when I let this and then I'm letting this inside of this and I edit its balance, the parent object that's being edited, like here, the parent object has been edited, right? This is all by ref in JavaScript. Same with the withdraws. I should be able to just do that. Is that true? Does anyone know? Hopefully that's true. and then I can return true. Okay, so I have deposit, I have withdraw. So when I want to withdraw, I should be able to do if let result equal withdraw. A dot amount. How much interest does my bank give? If it's any good, you may make a deposit. Ha! I give 10%, but it's compounded annually. So you have to wait a year to get your payout. That's funny. If I could somehow turn GC into more GC, if I could buy bits with GC, and then I could add users into my botnet to make more GC, and that would have been investing your GC, that would be funny. So withdrawing this amount, the balance to take, I now need to actually send. So this has to be 2, and the user needs to be, oh shit, so it has to be an amount and a 2, right? And then this has to be balance to take, and this has to be a context dot caller, I think. Oh god, gotta sneeze. Okay, there, gone. Sneeze felled. I've been watching a lot of Elden Ring. I gotta play some more Elden Ring. I want to get that DLC, but I didn't even finish the base game, so I'm gonna have to start over again at some point. Anyway, so I should call with the balance to take, and the caller, who's asking for the withdraw, request the botnets, go send this user this money, your fraction, and then update the banknet in the database and return true. So if the result for a.amount, withdraw a.amount, I suppose I should just have this be to the user. Oh, hold on. F2, right? User. And this should be a.amount, caller. If not result, return OK false, return nothing, return OK true. I also don't need these parentheses, those are old, that's my old style. I don't actually know what all that's doing at the bottom there yet. I've made a lot of alterations to this script, so. Okay, so depositing and withdrawing should technically be complete. The bot brain has a withdraw. The balance of caller is irrelevant. Yeah, balance of colors never used. Yeah. Okay. Same with banknet. I don't use the value right now, that is true. I mostly just want to leave that there so that I remember that this does return the whole structure, because I think this script is going to expand slightly to use those results. So I just want to remind myself in the future that it does return that. Okay, so I should be able to upload this. I'm going to make a copy here. I'm going to put it here for now. Okay. Up bot brain. Go to my other user. Actually, hold on. Before I start putting money in my other user, I need to give it a lock stack. I want very similar lock stack to what I have here. So market.browse, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to do name, let's do contel. Okay, we're just going to take one. Y over pay. Ah, why'd you do this? Ruined my macro. Sakura. A Glock. What were the parameters on this Glock? I don't know, just kind of irrelevant, I guess. I must have just picked a blue one. $100 million. Feth. Do I have a market info? I should. Where I is this, and full is true. Glock is low expire sex, that's what we want. So, I mean, this was 84. I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's what we have now. So expire sex is if I do less than or equal to 84. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of them here. It's 82. Thanks, Hacktix. Hey, Bokill. How goes the banknet? It's pretty good. I'm at the point now where I pretty much just want to lock up, get all the lock stacks set up on my second user here, bank user, and then I should be able to start testing like sending and receiving. So we did the deposit, which was pretty easy, but realized the withdraw is a little bit trickier because you can't do a variable script call. So we came up with the idea here in chat to make an array of script calls. So every time I add a node, I'm gonna have to add it in here. There's not really much I can do about that because I have to be able to call each one, and those can't be variable, right? These are literals. So, but yeah, once we figured that out, I haven't tested any of this yet, so I'm just getting the lock stack up. I am almost at the end of my time for today's stream though, so I am going to I'm going to finish locking up my my bank user here. So I got the G lock. I did the warn and the warn message, and I did that to trick people. Whatever. I'm just gonna do the standard locks for now. E14s should all be the same, but I'm cheap, so I'm gonna do the cheapest one. Okay, my market buy script has got to be updated here to include account 1 because I'm sick of getting screwed by that. Okay, Sakura again. Locket's pretty decent, like easy 40, but not as good. Yeah, and I think I have a. I'll have lockbox, and I think that's because I don't remember why. You can only have 8 locks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I think that's why. I put a warn instead that could sends a message that could really screw up some people's scripts if they're not careful. It will actually screw my script. That's how I figured out how to do it. But I'm not open to challenges right now on that. So please don't. Please don't, my poor bank user. Okay, account NT. What did I have for this one? Your script would crack it? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. So please don't do that right now. This was account NT the minutes I think, or minimum. I think is a minimum range. Some of these are just really expensive. So what's this one? Yeah, I think that's the minimum range. So I would do account NT min. I would do maybe greater than or equal to 5, which is what I have on the other one. Greater than or equal to 6. These are mostly blues. Yeah, so it looks like it goes up to 6. So I could grab a 6 for my other one here, just at random, I guess. Account NT and lockbox are highest priority tier 2 locks. If you have good stats on both with a G lock after account NT, that'll stop a lot of people. Most of the rest are about slowing them down as much as possible. Yeah. The thing is though, for my script rate, slowing me down means nothing. It's meaningless. My automation runs my script so fast, and it has full continuation token support. It's pointless. Like even I think you'd have to have a Magnara 7, and then the Magnara 7 would have to get lucky and generate something that I have a hard time solving with a 7 length one in a timely fashion. That's the only way that you could, I think, slow me down long enough so that I couldn't breach in 3 minutes, which is the hardline time. But even then, I still save my continuation token. There are still a lot of people that don't do them. Yeah, so Again, this is just like minimum. I have to up my lock stack here, and the more GC I have, the more available I am to up this, right? Because some of these are just so pricey that I'll bankrupt myself putting my lock stack up. So I'll get there though. I just have to get this up. So I want a nice Magnara. What was this info 5? What did I have here? Oh yeah, this is a length 7. So this would actually give myself trouble too. Yeah, so there are a lot here with like 1 for 1 million. I'm surprised there's so many length 7s for such a cheap price. Hactics? Hactus, some kind of lock mogul. For my solution works, but it's not the fastest. Most people use a dictionary. Yeah, I mean, like, I should be using a dictionary. I should at least be generating my own, honestly. Because what I should be doing is I should be checking a dictionary, and then if I don't find it, use my own solve. Because that will be a lot faster. I just have an aversion to using somebody else's scripts right now in my cracking logic. For whatever reason. Snooze ads one more time here. Okay, what's left on the stack? Conspec. And this one is P1 length of 5 and P2 of 57. Actually, I suppose I can just do P1 len and P2 len. P1 len I can do greater than or equal to 8, and P2 len I can do greater than or equal to 57. Yep, there are a few here. Let's grab this one. I think I have one more. Lockbox. This is a 25. Count greater than or equal to 25. A lot, but they're pretty pricey. I do want the higher tier ones because they will give me a chance of using a V3 key or something. Here's where I go bankrupt. I mean, I might. Now that I have my locks, I'm okay. I don't need cash for the rest of it. Now I can just automate my cash back, which is the whole point, right? Best lock boxes. Go for it. Better spend the cash on upgrades I need. Yeah, I just don't want to fuss because I'll have to do more research before I start dropping 100 mil, because then my balance is only like 500 mil. So I'll be able to buy 5 upgrades and I'll be broke. So like I'm gonna do that, but you guys are making this hard for me. I already have ADHD. I just need to focus. I need to focus on this thing and then get that done, and then focus on this and get that done. So like upgrading all my lock stack and stuff is definitely something that I want to do, especially once I can like really roll up the GC through my automation and get it distributed in my bank net. Then I can start like just spending it, right? Because what else are you going to spend it on, right? That's why you spend it. Buy the best locks possible. When I do an auto lock stack and have a death machine going, it will help. Yeah, like certainly a script that lets me online a botnet user, so goes buys the best versions of all the upgrades that I can find for the lock stack that I want, and then sends them to that new botnet user, right? To like online them very quickly. That would be something that's very good to do as well. But I know the market browse commands are actually very slow, so we'll see. But yeah, having a lot of this stuff so that you can just like one click, what you do is have an upgrade net, yeah? And then you just stockpile them, I'm guessing is what you're gonna suggest, Joestar. Just stockpile the upgrades. Auto lock stack in your bot brain to go and get them from my upgrade net and then equip them. Auto cracker sends into the upgrade net. Oh. Scope creep. Joestar, you are the worst for scope creep. Your bots always have the best locks that I have. Yeah, I mean that's a very good point. Okay, we're almost out of time here. I'm just gonna go and equip these. So I don't think I can reorder. Do I have a reorder? Oh, I do. Reorder 0 to 7. Whoops, that's not how I do it. 0 and 7. Just use an array to specify the priority of users in my botnet. Yeah, I could do that too. So I want to reorder 6 to 0. Man, they came in the opposite order. That's frustrating. I'm gonna have to use another snooze. Okay, that's it. It's my last snooze. So after this, I'm done. So I want contel, glock, actually, what does reorder do? And maybe I should just, because you can give it an array. Say I use iBank as my main user, it would be useful to have the best locks on it. Yeah, so I'm not going to have a main bank user. That's the thing. So I want them all to be even. Making a lock stack script is fairly easy. Yeah, I know that it is. I just haven't done it yet because it's just not on my priority. It's like down on my list of priorities, and I just go from the top. So I just haven't gotten there yet. So I'm going to reorder. So I want contel, glock, easy40. So glock, we're going to do 6 and 1. We're going to do 6 and 2. Oh, I think I see a theme here. Account NT, Magnara, conspec, lockbox. There. So my second bank user is mostly locked up. At least it's got a bare minimum. Michael is here. Hey, Michael. Unfortunately, we're just wrapping up. Just wrapping up for the morning here. So, I guess what I could do. Let's up my bot brain. Let's up my bot brain for both users. I could fit one more lock. Yeah, but that's because I'm missing the Warn lock that I had for the other one, but I don't want to futz with it right now. I'm in a rush. I've got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to up my bot brain onto this user, and then I'm going to run bot brain. What happens if I run bot brain with no parameters again? It's going to do a deposit to my bank. I don't want it to do that. I only want it to do that if it's not whitelisted. Because the bot brain is going to run it with no parameters. Okay, so up it, and I actually also have to make it public. Shift public. Oh, I don't have any public slots. Fuck. That doesn't matter. So this should have it synchronize over to my libuser. Nope, fucking blew it. Cannot read withdraw of null. Oh, if a and is that what I want? Yeah. Yeah? It reported itself as offline. Why did it do that? Okay, I'm just gonna have to put a to-do in here to fix that. To-do incorrectly reports itself as offline. Sorry everyone, I'm in a bit of a rush here. Gonna do xylib.bank to donate. Remember the running botbrain script does delay the cron bot from running it. Yeah, it just loaded itself. Is there another user in the DB that's detecting offline? It will, but it only detects it as offline if it became offline during the detection. So if it's already sitting there as offline, then it doesn't do anything. So it's not like a constant reminder that there's a bot offline. It's just, hey, I just detected one going offline. And in that instance, it detected itself going offline, which is a bug that I'll have to look at fixing later. So then I'm going to switch to my other user here. Make the same change here, which is if a and a.withdraw. I am imagining it's going to do the same thing here because that bug exists. Oh, it didn't. So it's not a bug with a new bot being added. It's just a bug with detecting because Zybank user was already in that dictionary, so it saw itself as offline, I guess, or it calculated itself as going offline. I don't know what it did. We'll look at it later. I don't want this ad to hit though because I'm done and I don't want to end on an ad. So so we're all done for today. Sorry for the rush at the end here. Thanks everyone for coming in. I'll definitely be back on Tuesday for my regular stream, 9:30 Eastern evening. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. And I hope to see you all again soon. If there's a bonus stream, it may be if it's related to hackmud, I'll post it on the official Discord. Otherwise, I'll post it in my Discord. If you want to just hop in to get announcements for when I go live with other games if you're interested. If not, that's cool too. Okay, see you all later. Thanks for coming by. Have a great one. All right, take care.